Thank you all for coming. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming. I have to say, good job everybody for coming. Today, my speech is going to be on selflessness. How selflessness doesn't exist. But to start, we're going to do a little game, a little activity. You're all involved in this. Alright? Really easy. I'm going to name hypothetical scenarios. All you're going to do, put your hands up if you think it's selfless, hands down, selfish. Okay? Tony decides to go to the soup kitchen on his days off from work. Selfless, selfish. It's not a trick question. It's very simple. Tony, soup kitchen on his days off from work. Selfless, selfish.
He's donating his time or he's eating there.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's actually a good question. I'm so glad you asked. He goes and volunteers at the soup kitchen on his days off from work. All right, hands down. Jessica gives an extra $2 from her pocket to someone who's sitting on the side of the street. Selfless, selfish. Hands down. Peter sees a girl that he kind of knows and asks her how her day is. Selfless, selfish. You can put it in between. I like in betweens. You can also put it in between. All right, hands down, hands down. Jamie decides to give all her teachers an apple on the last week of school. Selfless, selfish. Okay, hands down, hands down. Final one. I'll use myself as the example. I told you all that I volunteered at soup kitchens on my days off from work. It's not the action of me doing it, it's me telling you all. Is that selfless, selfish? I'll make it easier. I told you all that I gave $2 to someone on the side of the street. Right? I told you all that I saw a girl I kind of know and asked her how her day was. I told you all I gave a teacher to all my apples. It's me telling you. Is that selfless or selfish? Okay, hands down. It's good to get a gauge of the audience. And what a gauge it is. Selflessness has a lot of definitions, right? Myriad of them. To make it real simple, and hopefully this works with the audience we have, I'm going to define it as selflessness is putting others before you. Right? That kind of works. Others before yourself. That's what being selfless is. My interpretation is that we have to all believe that we're selfless people, otherwise we'll realize we're not. It's a bit harsh, but it all goes into intention, right? More specifically, action versus intention. All right, we'll use the Jessica example, right? The action of it right there, her giving $2 to someone on the side of the street, is her putting her hand in her pocket, handing $2, right? The intention, though, I didn't give you, right? That didn't give you much context. Maybe her boss was watching on the side of the street and she wanted to look good. Maybe she doesn't like change in her pocket. Maybe she's been in that exact place before. You know, that though $2 isn't much, it means everything to the other person. You don't really know, right? So you have action, intention. With an intention, well, get ready, there's conscious intention and subconscious intention. Conscious intention, we just explained, right? The boss watching them, maybe she's been in that exact position. It's everything she's consciously doing to justify that action, right? Then there's subconscious intention, which are all the things that she doesn't exactly know why she does them. This we do every day, so many times in our lives. Emotional responses. Have any of you ever tensed up for a reason and didn't really know why? Maybe teared up and didn't really know why? That's a subconscious response, right? Routines. You all go to work every single day and go back, there, back, there, back. You do it every single time. You don't memorize every single time you do it, but you know that you did it, right? It's subconscious. So, subconscious intention, conscious intention, action. It's all necessary when viewing the question. And the question is this: can selfless actions exist without selfish intentions? And I'll say it again. Can selfless actions, these actions that you do for others, can that exist without it being selfish, without you benefiting from it? Right? And to answer this, right. Cowboy hat on.
Yeah.
Have I got a story for you all? Let me tell you the tale of, wait for it, the tale of the Bob Joes. It's hard to speak out of. The tale of the Bob Joes. The Bob Joes, okay? They're simple folk, right? Started with just the two of them, Bobby Bob Joe and Don Bob Joe. Now, oh, accent's coming out. You already know what's happening. Here we go. Come on. Thank you. Cheers, cheers. Bobby Bob Joe and Don Bob Joe have been together for a very happy 13 years. All right. Don Bob Joe even remembers the first time they ever met. Right? She was out there line dancing at the bar with her girls, as she does. Trips, falls on a man. Right? That man sees her. First thing he says to her is, "I'd fall every single day for you if I could see another glimmer of that beautiful smile of yours." Ooh, she was swinging ever since. Now they've been together for a very happy 13 years, just the two of them, right? Lo and behold, not going to be the two of them anymore. They're expecting. Now, I'm getting out of the accent for some reason. Now, the two of them have one very, very clear together decision when it comes to their kids. And it's that their kids cannot be assholes. God, they hate kids who are assholes. They hate adults who are assholes. They hate assholes. All right, I have neighbors. They hate assholes. But it seems to be the only thing that they can agree upon when it comes to their kids because they have very different values. Let's explore that right here. We have the Bobby and Don sheet. Oh, look at that. So, we'll start with Dawn over here on this side. Dawn believes that she is a selfless person, okay? And she wants to instill this value onto her kids, right? Now, Dawn doesn't donate. She doesn't go to soup kitchens, give $2, anything like that. But she doesn't think it makes her a bad person, a selfish person. It's more of a Descartes-esque mentality, right? I believe I'm a good person, therefore I am, right? But to make it very clear, she doesn't try and do any of those things. Then we have Bobby Bob Joe. Now, Bobby Bob Joe believes that he, along with every other person on the earth, is selfish. And all the things that we do are for yourself, right? Self-motivated. Whoa. Now, he doesn't donate, doesn't go to soup kitchens, any of those stuff. But he's a very straightforward mindset thinking, right? It's kind of a why make a bed mentality, right? There are some that do those things, that try, and there are some that don't try. He's one of those people that doesn't try, and he's happy with that, right? So, while Bobby and Don are arguing, bickering as they always do, we're going to take off this hat because it's a little hot, and we're going to stem into a much bigger argument. The big originator of this entire debate, and that is, oh, get ready, dramatic pause, warm glow, aka the bane of my existence, aka why this speech has taken a good 2 months to finish, aka a modern psychological construct. It's a theory, okay? Think of it as a helper's high, all right? Warm glow, whenever you open the door for someone, right, and they smile at you, whenever you get complimented for doing something good, whenever you help someone out in their situation, you feel good, right? You get this kind of warm glow around you. Get ready. This has been debated for centuries on centuries on centuries on centuries. It's been debated for a long time. Not warm glow, but the question we asked earlier, right? Can selfless actions exist without it being selfish intent? There's a side of the egoists, right? Not egotists, I had to look it up. Egoists. These are the people that says, no, absolutely no way. Every single thing you do is all selfish. It's all self-motivated, right? No such thing as selflessness. This is Galileo, Socrates, J.S. Mill, Hobbes, Kant, Nietzsche. Keeps going on, this entire list of philosophers, okay? Then you have the altruists, or the pure altruists. These are the people that says, yes, selflessness can exist. You can do things for others. It doesn't need to be for yourself because you can just do it for others. This is Butler, Rousseau, Leo Tolstoy. You have, I already said Kant. You have Peter Nagel. Uh, oh my gosh, Peter Smith, Nagel, a whole bunch of others. And again, the list goes on and on and on and on and on. So, you have all these philosophers for so long debating. And there's no middle ground, right? There's either you believe it's selfish or you don't believe it's selfish. And then becomes, please give a big round of applause to the man himself, Mr. James Andreoni, everybody. James Andreoni. Oh,
Yeah.
we all love Mr. James Andreoni. Currently professor at UC San Diego, right? Father of 15 kids. He has 15 kids. I completely made that up. I have no idea about him. But he, in 1989, came up with the warm glow model. Now, you all have your phones here with you. I believe you all mostly have iPhones. I know some of you have Androids, yes. I'm going to AirPlay you all the warm glow model. If not, I'm going to text it right here. All right, get your AirPlay on. We're doing this. I'm going to text it to you, Soren, right here. Perfect. You all have your AirPlay right there. Yeah, this is one of those mini breaks that I did not want to write. So we did it. Alright. AirDrop. Bam. Bam. You have yours?
Yeah, it should be iPhone.
That's what it is.
I'm waiting for you both. Sent to Cat. Sent to... Waiting to send to Red. Oh. Oh, the time is ticking. Sent. No worries. Bam. Soren. Send. Right there. Bam. It's okay. Krista. Sending you as a text. Right there. Just want to make sure you all can see it. Right? I need to turn it to the side to be able to really view the entire thing. Yeah. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
I'll send it.
Sending it over. Yes. If not, you both need to see the picture. It's good. You all have it, right?
You gotta see it.
Yeah, it's a lot. But it's pretty simple. Okay? You got it right there?
It's taking its sweet old time.
I'm gonna keep going. I believe you'll all be able to see it. But as complicated as it looks, it is very simple. Okay? All it is 3 different steps. Okay? Right there. First, right over here, you have Ken. Right? Ken, right here, it's a little short. Ken is not a person, but rather a representation of all the people or any person that has affluent wealth. Think of celebrities, doctors, right? Business tycoons, millionaires, billionaires.
Not generational, but
Anybody who's alive who just has wealth.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Right? Way more than the national average income.
Got it.
That's who Ken represents. That's 1. 2, you take all of the world's good deeds. 3, you take all of Ken's good deeds. Okay? You put all of these 3 together, and you're able to figure out exactly how much warm glow exists. And now you can see how it's a very theoretical method. There's no way to determine how to see all of the world's good deeds, let alone one person's good deeds. It's subjective, and we did that last speech, right? So, even though it's theoretical, even though it started in 1989, this thing exploded. Okay? I'm gonna read out a list right now. Philosophy, philanthropy, economics, overall consumption, sorry James Andreoni, political science, I'm so sorry, sociology, healthcare, business, voting, product advertising, sustainability, so many articles on sustainability. I did not realize all of these walks, movements, blogs, podcasts are all about warm glow and sustainability, but it makes sense. Right? Warm glow is the helper's high. You do something and you feel good about it. If you're helping the planet, then the planet's good, and you also feel good about it. And that is warm glow. Thank you all. Yes, that was the mini warm glow little thing. That took 2 months. I appreciate it. Now let's get back to the story. Yes, of course. I'll get my accent out, please. Well, Bobby and Don, Bob Joe, right? They had their kids, and those kids, they grew a little older, right? They grew old enough to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. They grew old enough to see their parents, not as parents, but as people. And they grew old enough to have their own set of values. So let's go see that right now. Oh, the hat's falling, it's okay. We have the Odin and Izzy value chart. Now, we'll start with Odin right here. Odin takes after his pa, Bobby Bob Joe, right? And that more selfless or egoist point of view, right? But at the same time, he's a little different. Odin, you're all good. Odin volunteers with kids with disabilities, right? And on top of it, he also goes to a sustainability group. And then we got Izzy Bob Joe. Now, Izzy Bob Joe takes after her mother, Dawn Bob Joe, right? And that more selfless or altruist point of view, right? I'm just going to keep shaking my head to it eventually, yeah. In that more selfless, altruist point of view. But she works at nursing homes, and also she volunteers in an animal shelter. And this is Izzy's big justification, right? She's selfless, she claims she's selfless, and this is why she does those things, right? We're gonna use 2 people for this one. I love using the term volunteer instead of voluntold. You 2 right here. Please give a big round of applause. Our 2 little volunteers right here. You're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna be right there. All right. Izzy, this is Odin Bob Joe talking to Izzy. Izzy, you ain't nothing but a poser, right? You do all these things. You work at the nursing homes. You work at the animal shelter, but it's all just to make yourself feel good, right? None of these are truly selfless acts. Plus, your shoes look ugly. Whoa. 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 Well, Odin, this is Izzy talking now. Odin, you're a hypocrite, right? You claim that all these things we do are selfish, but you also work with those kids, right? And you also join the sustainability group. Also, your hair's a little unkempt. Oh my gosh. Thanks. Many round of applause again. Good job, good job, good job, good job. Now, we're going to take off this hat again, because it is still really hot, to talk about how this argument sends into a much bigger argument I personally have against warm glow. Alright? I believe warm glow exists. It is a very real concept by the lovely, almost took off Red's head, James Andreoni. Alright? Thank you, right there. But at the same time, I have some points against it, and I have them right over here. Alright? Here we go. Definitions. I defined warm glow as a helper's high, right? I missed out on some others. From the Decision Lab website, it is the selfish pleasure we feel from our behavior. According to the University of Illinois, it's the tendency to act in one's own interest without the regard of impact for others, right? The model you all have on your phones right there, the warm glow model. The Decision Lab, again, criticism should recognize that according to the original model, in order for warm glow to exist, pure altruism, that selflessness, is not possible and is inherently self-motivated. Right? Here we go. Thomas Hobbes is one of the list, right, from earlier. He's the man who also, I should say, founded modern political science, like philosophy, that entire guy. He says, and I quote, "No man giveth, but with intention of good to himself." Right? He was old. And a final point that I have with this. You all have done various accolades. I could tell. I can see winners in this entire room right here, right? When you get a certificate, an award, a trophy, right? Is it the trophy that you feel happy about, or is it the feeling that you get from earning that trophy? Right? And so this is my real big argument when it comes to warm glow. It's back to action and intention. Once again, right? You feel really good about doing this thing. What about the actual thing that you did? Think of business tycoons, billionaires. This is like a fun fact. I'm going off script. We're going crazy here, guys. This is a real thing. Charity workers and millionaires who like donate to these charities. What they do now, this is very real. They donate to lots of small amounts of money to various charities instead of one big lump sum donation to show how they're kinder to others. But also, what it does is, since you donate a small amount of money to small amount of money to small amount of money, none of them get the proper money that they need. And then on top of it, they don't even really care because they just feel good because it's not about quality, it's about quantity. Right? I donated to 10 different charities. That makes me a better person than the guy who donated a lot of money to one charity. You see what I'm talking about? But at the same time, I am no dummy to criticism. And I read a lot of articles that was pro warm glow. So it's a little smaller list, but I have it right here. Lifestyle sustainability, right? Defines warm glow as the reinforcing feeling of making a tangible difference, right? The Decision Lab calls it an extension of empathy. Zen Basil, one of the, oh my gosh, millions of sustainability ads, says lower levels of depression from warm glow, a release of dopamine, oxytocin, regulates mood, promotes social bonding, reduces stress, brings lower mortality rates, improved cardiovascular health, and I don't know, like a million others. I didn't have time to write them all. But there's a whole bunch of benefits that comes from this warm glow. And I can already see in all your heads, I'm so sorry. You really want to know how the ending to that Bob Joe's are. I know. I can see it in your eyes. I apologize. Well, let me tell you all. Get your champagne glasses out. Let me tell you all. They good. Alright? They good. Yeah, they're fine. To be honest with you, they're a family at the end of the day. They have different values. They see things different ways, but they still all love each other. And I think this goes into a bigger point, even more than this entire speech, and that's take it all with a grain of salt. Alright? You see me here? I'm just a rootin' tootin' cow. I'm right. I'm just a little. I'm just a guy here who has one certain opinion about all this, which is different than yours, which is different than yours, and yours, and yours, and yours. And that's all okay. Right? But if I were to take one last little piece, one little input into this speech, is that we see Don and Bobby, right? And how they were arguing before. We see Odin and Izzy, how they were arguing before. We see the egoists and altruists, how they have all been arguing. And it's against the question, do selfless actions exist without any selfish intention? I don't think that's what we should be focusing on. It's instead on those who try and those who don't try. Right? Because at the end of the day, there are going to be people who think differently. But I believe we all should try. Because we're not all going to be here that long.
Hold your hands.
Oh, good.
Clapping sound.
On the speech. That was it. Thank you.